Welcome to our basic boxing lesson for beginners. This lesson is divided into 4 parts. First will be proper stretchings and warm-up, followed by proper boxing stance, then proper punching and timings, combinations, and footwork. First is the stretching. Stretchings always starts to the head downwards. Now let's start with head turns. Just turn your head from left to right. Do it 10 times. This stretching stretches the neck muscles to avoid neck cramp. Next is neck rotation. Do it 8 clockwise and 8 counterclockwise. This stretching relaxes your neck joints, especially when you are doing some explosive movements. At first you will feel dizzy, but that's okay. You will get used to it. And next is arm swings. Do it 10 inwards and 10 outwards. This exercise relaxes your shoulder joints, especially when you are doing some rotational movements like uppercuts and hooks. And next is 10 chest press. This exercise relaxes your chest muscles and back muscles too, allowing you to swing powerful strikes. The next one is 10 hip rotations. Power of your punch comes from hips, so it is important to practice your torso. Next is elbow rotations. This exercise allows your elbow joints to move freely when you're doing some punches. Just do 10 clockwise and 10 counterclockwise. The next one is 10 hip circles. To loosen up your hip joints, do 10 clockwise and 10 counterclockwise. And next is 10 knees up, allowing your hip joint from upper and lower motions. It is actually good for loosening up the hips. Next is knee circles, left and right. This exercise allows you for the maximum range of motion of your hips. Next is back stretch, toes down. It really stretches your back and your hamstrings, especially your lumbar area or your lower back. Next is 10 squats. It really stretches your leg and allow blood flows to your legs. It also strengthen the knees. And next is 10 leg marches. This exercise allows blood flow throughout your legs. Next is 10 tiptoes. This exercise warms up your calf muscles. Next is side leg lunges. This exercise stretches your groin, hamstrings, and your calf muscles. Do it left and right. If you are not able to lift yourself, just crawl to the side. Now jump drill to relax your upper body and lower body. And now we proceed on fighting stance. Always remember when you do your fighting stance, the distance between your foot must be shoulder level. As much as possible, your elbow must be pointing downwards and your hand must cover your chin. Always remember that your head must be in the center, between your 2 foot, and your balance must be 50% on the left and 50% on the right. Remember, don't open your arms too wide because it will defend your body from body shots. Also, bend your knees a little bit to reduce the impact of your body weights. Now, practice your stance. And now we move on punching. First punch is jab. Jab is commonly used to create distance and distractions. Remember, jab has 3 parts. First of all, you must establish your base. You can do that by twisting your front foot and followed by turning your hips. Then extending your arms forward. So first, establish a good base and followed by your hips. Then straight your punching arms to the target. Remember that power comes from the fruit traveling upwards to your arms. And now try to practice your jab. Just remember your fighting stance and lighten up your shoulders. And now our next punch is a straight, also known as cross. Same as the jab, the base of this punch comes from your foot. First, twist your base foot and twist your hips. Then release your straight. Remember, in order to have the maximum power of this punch, you must straighten your elbows. Remember to link your foot, hips, and arms. It is called kinetic linkings. Now try to practice your straight. So twist foot, twist hips, and throw your punch. Our next punch is also known as uppercuts. This punch also requires of turning of your foot and hips to acquire the maximum power of the punch. The starting area of the uppercut must be on your hips or your belt area. If you make it too low, you will lose the trajectory of the punch and ends at your head area, not way above your head. It was like shoveling movements. And now it starts with your hips area and traveling upwards, not beyond your head but the chin area. Now try to practice. At first you will not able to get it, but be patient, you will get it. And also practice your right area. Just remember, from your hips upwards to the chin. When you're doing uppercut, don't throw your body forward. It's a big no. Just keep your head in the center and maintain your base. And now try to train more. Just follow me. And now our next punch is called hook. There's so many types of hook punch, but we will focus on the basic ones. Like on our other punch, first turn your foot, hips, and then release your arms. Your arm must make a semicircle motions in order to execute a hook. Practice your hook in a shoulder level position. Just remember, when you make a semicircle motion, rotate your hips because the power of the hook comes from your hips. And now join me, practice our hook. Hooks are very effective in both long range and short range. It is also effective in counter attacks. Now we move on basic boxing combinations. Our first combination is jab straight. Remember that in every punches, you must twist your hips first in order to combine two punches. Twisting your hips may allow the next punch to execute more freely and effectively. So remember to twist and twist. Master your twisting first and do not rush your punches because you will only lose your timing. You just have to be patient. Just always keep in mind the step-by-step procedure. Now practice your combination jab straight. Then you have it, you have a combination jab straight. And for our next combination, uppercut and hook. And always remember that the hook is lateral and the uppercut is vertical. So you turn lateral, vertical, and now try to practice your uppercut and hook. Just remember, be patient. And alright, there you have it, the uppercut and hook. And now we try to combine 3 punches. That's jab, straight, uppercut. So always remember that hip turn, hip turn, hip turn. So jab, straight, uppercut. Then your turn, practice 3 combinations. And now we try to combine 4 punches, the jab, straight, uppercut, and hook. So jab, straight, uppercut, and hook. Just keep in mind the hip turning on every punches. Your turn, practice 4 combination punches. If you get used to the punches, the speed comes after. Just keep in mind the basic and fundamentals of every punch. So alright, there you have it. And now we try to combine it with some footworks. First footwork is forward and backward motions. As you go forward, step your front foot forward and then followed by your back foot. If you go backwards, back foot goes first and followed by your front foot. And now practice forward and backward motions. At first it was confusing, but you'll get used to it. Always remember that leave a shoulder gap length between your foot. And your head is always be at the center. And now let's try to combine it with your punches. So step forward first and then follow by your jab, straight, and go backwards. Repeat this drill a few times so we'll get used to it. Just always remember to establish your base first before you go for punchings. So this time we will try to combine it with sideward motions. So get ready. As you go to your right, the back foot always step first and then followed by your front foot. And as you go to your left, front foot goes first and then followed by your back foot to avoid crossing of your foot. Try to practice this drill few more times. These drills allow you to move side to side and get angle of attack. And also it is very effective when it comes to evading attack and dodgings. And now let's try to add some punches. Always remember that same rules applied. Always remember that establish your base foot before you punch. So in our next video, we will be covering head movements, body movements, and angles of attack. So see you on our next video.